Next tonight, demonstrators at a fracking site in North Yorkshire have stepped up their protests following news that drilling could begin within days.
3 protesters broke into the well site at the weekend and scaled the rig, while today a lock-on lead to traffic disruption. Our business correspondent, Danny Hewson, is at the site in Kirby Misperton for us tonight. Look, Danny, what's the atmosphere being like there today with this news?
Well, honestly, Harry, it's been rather a mixed atmosphere here today, because on the one hand, everyone has been talking about what happened at the weekend when 3 protesters broke into the site behind me and scaled the rig. But on the other hand, the rig, which you can now see illuminated back there, is still a very clear and visible symbol of the fact that fracking is about to start within the next few days. Another lock-on, a new location, this time outside the entrance to the protesters' camp. Its intention to prevent lorries delivering equipment to the well site. Police used a new tactic, lifting them off the road while still attached to the heavy device. Once clear, the traffic could move past. Among the queue, many holidaymakers on their way to Flamingo Land.
We definitely regret the fact that the police are choosing to close the road, even though the protest is always planned in a way to disrupt the local environment and these communities as little as possible. Every job at Flamingo Land is under threat because of fracking. The tourist economy in Yorkshire is worth £7 billion, and every piece of that is threatened because tourism will not exist if this region becomes a gas field.
With the first frack imminent, protesters are growing more determined. On Saturday, 3 broke onto the well site and scaled the rig, live streaming onto social media before being brought down the next day.
We don't want fracking here, we don't want fracking anywhere.
How they got past security will undoubtedly be investigated. In a statement, Third Energy said their actions put both themselves and people working on the site in jeopardy. Setting off an emergency flare on a live gas site, essentially an open flame, was exceptionally reckless. But for local campaigners who feel their opinions have been ignored, direct action is to be applauded.
I think the people who are actually putting their lives at risk by climbing on the rigs are doing something which many of us, myself included, would like to be able to do. But I'm too much of a coward to do it.
I don't feel I'm capable of doing anything like that, but so I decided that I could come down, serve tea and coffee and biscuits and try to keep their morale up, because it's not an easy thing they're doing. And I think they're very brave.
It's not a view shared by everyone, but then fracking is a subject that polarises opinion.
So Danny, when can we expect the government to formally sign off the frack plan then?
Well, actually, Keely, that is a very good question, and honestly, we just don't know. We do know that it is imminent. In Westminster last week, during PMQs, a question was asked about that very thing, and we were told that they had received the application and they were considering it. So it could be any day now.
So how soon after this is fracking likely to begin? And given the level of protest now, what's it going to be like when things get going for real?
Well, honestly, the company behind plans to frack here did actually give a letter to the county council last week saying that they were ready to frack on or from the 26th, which is Thursday. Now, that is part of the planning conditions that they have to discharge. That's not to say it will happen from Thursday, but they could be ready. They've also said that despite all the disruption outside, that they have worked that into their plans, and of course they were aware that it would happen, so it shouldn't set them back. In terms of the protesters themselves, well, the fact that this is imminent, that is certainly something which is on their mind, and that of course is why we have seen action stepping up today. It's been a difficult thing for the police to deal with. They have said that they are trying to balance the right of people outside to protest along with the right of Third Energy to carry out their lawful works. It is a very difficult balancing act, but we can expect that this is now very much the end game, and fracking, well, I'd be very surprised if we're not seeing a frack within the next couple of weeks.
Danny, thank you.